ओम श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरम्. At the outset, I express my regret that last time I skipped 4 shlokas unread. Now there is no use telling the pretext, but I have a computer print and in which 2 pages become 1 page. And while turning, 2 pages got stuck up and like this, and so 4 shlokas were missing. I was myself surprised how we have done 15 shlokas today. Actually, 11 only were done. So we go back to shloka 20. 20, 21, 22, and 23 were not read. So I go back to 20. And the point there is that up till now we have learned that Atman is consciousness, while body and all other functions are matter. But, and against this, whatever is coming in our mind, that Shankar is eliminating again and again. That is the whole Atmabodha. And that is illumination by examples only, without any ratiocination. That being the speciality of this Atmabodha. So, we feel our experience that we are born, we grow, we die. This is the common experience of all. So, though Atman may be consciousness, but this is what is the common experience. This is being eliminated by telling that this does not belong to the Atman at all. Dehendriya gunan karmani amale satchidatmani adhyasyanti avivekena gagane nilatadivat. Deha, Indriya, the karmani are the gunas of Deha and Indriya. Gunani means functions. The functions of Deha and Indriya is karmani, work. And that becomes this birth, death, and all these things. Amale Satchidatmani. The nature of Atman is pure and existence and consciousness. That is the characteristics or nature of the Atman. But whatever is done by Deha and Indriya, due to non-discrimination, avivekena, between the nature of the Atman and what we see, we cannot discriminate. And so, adhyasyanti, so it is superimposed. What is superimposed? The actions which are the functions of body and indriyas are superimposed on Atman due to non-discrimination. Example, Gagane Nilatadivat. There is a sky. And sky is not blue. And yet we see it is blue. And we feel it is blue. Small children will go to the length of asking the blue color from the sky. But even the elders, we constantly see sky to be blue. But sky is not blue. Adi. Adi means the sky appears like a hemisphere to us. Now, hemisphere which say, according to our eyes range, maybe say 20 miles. But the fun is that if you go to that point of 20 miles, there again we see the hemisphere another 20 miles. Now, sky is not an hemisphere. Sky has no shape. What is this hemisphere? The range of our vision, range of everybody's vision is different. And now this range, when we turn our eyes, whether east, west, up and down is earth, we cannot see. So it becomes a hemisphere. In all directions, the range of the eyes will be same, and so sky appears an hemisphere. Sky has no shape. Sky is infinite, relatively. So this is what is called superimposition. Though it is not there, we see like that. We experience like that. Similarly, though Atman's real nature is pure existence and consciousness, yet the work done by the body and indriyas, we feel it is superimposed means we feel that it is done by the Atman. Superimposed in our mind, not actually, not that karmas sit upon Atman. But in our experience, the karmas are, instead of Atman, we see the karmas. We do not see the Atman. And so the Aviveka is there. We do not know the nature of the Atman. So the Aviveka is there. And the result is that these become superimposed in our mind on Atman. Now, another. That maybe birth or death may not be belonging to Atman. But I directly feel I am the doer. I directly feel I am the experiencer. What about this? Do they not require consciousness? This is an important point that this subject-object relation wherein we feel I am the doer, we have discussed it many, many times, that we find ourselves to be subject in this world of objects. This itself is Maya. This itself is called nescience or ignorance. Atman or Brahman or Ishvara has no subject-object split. That is the nature of the Atman. It is one without a second. There is no scope of there being a split in Atman. And we continuously see we are different from the world. This is called Maya or nescience or ignorance, please mind it. The very relation between a subject and object is ignorance. Because in Atman there is no such division. So here I do is a subject dealing with objects. I know it is subject dealing with objects. This is due to wrong knowledge. Ajnanan manaso padhe kartrutvadi nichatmani kalpyante ambugate chandre chalana diyatham vasa. This is due to ignorance or wrong knowledge. Upadhi of the mind, that means mind is not the nature of the Atman, and yet we feel mind in place of Atman, or mind joined to Atman, mind somehow related to Atman, that is called Upadhi. And it is the mind which feels Karta or Bhokta. It is the mind which feels doer or experiencer. It is the mind which creates duality and feels it. And so, due to wrong knowledge, ajnana, manasopadhe, due to mind being a limiting adjunct or mind being something adventitious in Atman, karturtvadini chatmani. In Atman, we feel doer and experiencer. Kalpente, that is a kalpente means it is an idea in the mind. I am the doer or I am experiencer. Mind you is an idea of the mind. And this is why the whole world suffers due to ignorance. Example. No logic here. Understanding is by example. Ambugate Chandre, moon reflected in water. Chalanadi, water is moving, waves are there, water is moving here and there. Yatha ambasa chalanadi chandre. And we look at the reflection and we feel that moon is dancing. Even to the extent fishes play, fishes feel that moon is playing with us. And suddenly the waves stop and they say, oh, moon is not playing now. Up to that extent, this ignorance proceeds. We can see and at least understand that moon is not moving. Moon's own motion, relatively small motion is there. But what we see the moon dancing in the waves is due to the water dancing, not moon. Similarly, Atman is not the doer or experiencer. It is the mind which is the doer and experiencer, but we superimpose one on the other and we feel Atman to be the experiencer and doer. The whole world suffers from. This is called this sansara. This is called the maya, that the whole world feels. I am the doer and I am experiencer. Does not change the nature of things. Let the whole world feel like that. It does not change the nature of things. Atman is one without a second. Atman is consciousness. In Atman is there is no subject and object split. So we feel that is called ajnana, that is called the wrong knowledge. Then another thing, mental qualities, attraction, repulsion, desire, pleasure, pain, all these we feel my pleasure, my pain, my attachment, my desires. Now, here, little logic Shankar is using with an example. What is the logic? Ragecha sukha dukkha adi buddhau satyam pravartate sushupto nasti sushupto nasti nashe tasmat buddhestu natmanaha. It is called logic by agreement and disagreement. That is, the attachment, desire, pleasure and pain, etc., are there so long as the mind is working. Here, buddhi is identified with the mind. Buddhi is one of the functions of the mind. So long as the mind is functioning, these things are there. In deep sleep, these are not there because the mind is not functioning. This is called agreement and disagreement. Agreement means when the mind is functioning, sukha dukkha lava ichha is there. When the mind is not functioning, it is not there. So they belong to the mind, not to the Atman. Atman is ever present. Atman is never absent. Mind is present and mind is functioning in waking state, in dream state also. But in deep sleep, mind is not functioning. Mind is there, but it is not functioning. It has become tired. And these raga, icha, sukha, dukkha, etc. are all felt so long as the mind is functioning. Uddhav satyam, when the mind is active, pravartate. So long as we feel this. Sushuptav tannasti. In deep sleep, it is not there. Tannashe. Mind is not destroyed, but mind's activity has stopped. Therefore, buddhe. Therefore, they belong to the buddhi or the mind, no atmana, not to the atma. Important point, this is whole life. Raga, Ichha, Sukha, Dukkha are the whole life. And the whole life is being spent in ignorance, wrong knowledge. All this is in our mind, not in our real nature. So long as the mind is functioning, they are there. When the mind is not functioning, it is not there. Prakasho arkasya toyasya shaityam agner yatoshnata Swabhava Satchidananda Nitya Nirmalatatmana. Now, several examples are given to show what is the nature of Atman. And there is no why and how. It is the nature. What we call nature, there is no how. Prakasho Arkasya. The sun's nature is light. Uyasya Shaityam. The nature of water is cold. You know this? Even if you take hot water bath or hot water drink, the effect it produces is coolness. So it is the very nature of water that it is cold. The nature of Agni, fire, is heat. That is its very nature. Swabhava, that is their nature. So the nature of Atman is Satchit Ananda Nitya Nirmalata. Existence, consciousness, bliss, eternal, unchanging, and pure. That is the very nature of Atman. There is no question of why or how there. That is what is the nature of Atman. The nature of the sun is light. The nature of the water is coolness. The nature of fire is heat. Similarly, it is the nature of Atman, that is existence, consciousness, bliss, eternal, unchanging. Both are the meaning of the word Nitya. Nirmalata, pure, without any adulteration, without any mixture. So, we have been able to read 20 to 23. And we had read up to 29. So, you can skip now to 30. Now, how to feel that our real nature is Atman is by negating the upadhis, is by negating those which are not our real nature, but we feel they are ours. When we negate them, we shall feel we are Atman. That is the simple solution, apparently very simple. Avidyakam shariradi drishyam budbudavaksharam etad vilakshanam vidyat aham brahmeti nirmalam. Aham Brahma means my real nature is Brahman. Sharir, etc., body, etc., avidyakam. Due to ignorance, due to wrong knowledge, it has become my upadhi. Due to wrong knowledge, I feel I am the body. How? That is not I, Drishyam. A little reason is given here because I see. I see my body. How it can be I? That which is mine. How that can be I? My cell phone, my table. I am not the table. I am not the cell phone. I am not this computer simply because they are mine. So I see this computer, this table, this pen, so they are not mine. They are objects. So I drishyam, budbudavat, example, bubbles in the water, sharam. Next moment they are vanished. So two reasons are given. First is that they are seen, so they are not myself. And the other is that they vanish in a moment. I am not vanishing in a moment. And so, Shariradi are due to wrong knowledge. Then what I am? Etad vilakshanam. Vilakshanam. Again and again, I tell you, in Vedanta, it is not said, I am different. If you are different from body, then where is Advaita? If you and body are two things, where is Advaita? Vilakshana means my characteristics are different from the characteristics of the body. The body characteristic is that it is seen, body characteristic that it is Kshanabhangur. My characteristics is very different. Vidya, we should know this. We should realize this. we should be able to negate that which is not my real nature. Then what I am? Brahman. So, Aham Brahmasmi, don't be afraid. When people generally talk Aham Brahmasmi, what is happens, Aham means my body, mind, that is immediately in the mind. And this can never be Brahman. So, when Shankaracharya's Nirvana Shatka we read, oh, nice it appears, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivo. But is preceded by 3 lines of negation. Manobuddhi Ahankara Chittani Naham, Nacha Shrotra Jive, Nacha Grana Netre. So I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. Then what I remains? The only thing remains is consciousness, one without a second. Existence, consciousness, bliss, one without a second. That is the only thing remains. That is what I am feeling as I. That is Aham Brahmasmi. So only after negation of those things which are not my real nature, what will remain is that the Brahman is the only thing which I am feeling as I. And it is Nirmalam. No possibility of impurity. Impurity is in the mind. In my real nature, there is no possibility of impurity. It should not be felt that I am pure. You are never pure. Your Atman is pure. You are never pure. The very fact of you, different from others, is an impurity. So you can be pure. My real nature is purity. My real nature is Atman. My real nature is the all-pervading Brahman. And it is pure always. So, this is how, by negating that which I am not, only I will be able to realize what I am, that same thing as Brahman. That is the only thing which I can call as I. Nothing else I can call as I, and that is very pure. We go to 31. Now, the method of negation, or rather what is called dhyana in Vedanta. Meditation is being prescribed now. How we are able to feel that I am Atman. देहान्यत्वान्न मे जन्म जरा कार्शलयादयः शब्दादि विषये संगो निरिंद्रियतया न च. Implication should be drawn. I am not the body, I am not the mind. Of these implications should be drawn. Whatever is being taught up till now, from that implications are to be drawn. Dehanyatvat, because I am different from body. Name janma, birth belongs to body. Jara, old age belongs to body. Karsha, that means thin or thick, this belongs to body. Laya, death belongs to body. Birth, old age, thinness or thickness, and death, all this belongs to body. Because I am not the body, they do not belong to me, is the implication. Constantly man is afraid, oh, I'll become old, I'll lose my weight, I will gain my weight, or I will die. All this is due to wrong knowledge, and one should draw the implication that as I am not the body, they do not belong to me, and I am not the organs. Nirindriyataya, I am not the organs. So, Shabdadi Vishay Sango Nacha, no attachment, no relation with Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha, no attachment, no relation with any objects of the world, because I am not the Indriyas. What is related to Shabda? Ear. What is related to touch? My skin. What is related to form is my eyes. What is related to taste is my tongue. What is related to smell is my nose. I am not neither of them. I am none of the Indriyas. Indriyas are functions of the gunas. I am pure consciousness. And so, By this is called meditation. To remove, to find the implications of whatever we have learned up till now. We have learned that I am not the body, I am not the Indriya. If I am not the Indriyas, I have no relation with objects. If I am not the body, I am not related to the changes occurring in the body. Nirindriyataya nacha. 32. अमनस्त्वान्न में दुख राग द्वेष भयादय अप्राणो ही अमना शुभ्र इत्यादि श्रुति शासनात्. Because I am not the mind, because I am not the body, no old age, no birth, no death. Because I am not the indriyas, no perception of the objects. Because I am not the mind, so dukkha, it was told previously, they belong to the mind, not to the Atman. But now with this help, we have to negate them. Dukkha, rag, attachment, dvesha, hatred, bhaya, fear, all these belong to mind. I am not the mind. So I should not have any fear, mind you. Any fear is always in the mind. And I am not the mind. So there is no question of fear. No question of pain, no question of attachment, no question of hatred, no question of fear, adi. Whatever feelings are there are in the mind. So whatever feelings we have, that is our mind has. Our real nature has no feeling. How do you know? Shruti Shasanat. The Vedas or the Upanishads have taught us apranohi amana shubra. About our own real nature, the fun is that our real nature has to be told by the rishis. We do not know. So the rishis have told us emphatically, this animation is not what you are. Animation belongs to this high consciousness, prana. You are not the mind. So the feelings are not yours. The animation is not yours. Ityadi. All these things are taught by the Upanishads. So I do not have this dukkha raga dvesh because I am not the mind. Now, one mantra of the Mundaka Upanishad is put as it is. Because our logic is always insufficient. So from here we see Shankara started quoting the scripture. Aprano Amano also is from Mundak, and the next whole shloka is from Mundak Upanishad. Etasmat jayate prano manah sarvendriyani cha kham vayur jyotirapa prithvi vishwasya dharini. Etasmat, from this Atman, jayate is born, pran. So Atman has no pran. When prana is born from Atman, then Atman cannot be that pran. And after pran, animation, mind is born, all the indriyas are born, and the elements which the indriyas perceive are also born. Kham, Akasha, Vayu, air, Jyoti, light, Apa, the taste element, Prithvi, the smell element, and this Prithvi is Vishwasya Dharini. The holding of the whole world is by Prithvi, and that is born from Akash, Atman. So it is not in Atman, it is born. So this is another way of telling that I am none of these. Then what I am? 34. निर्गुणो निष्क्रियो नित्यो निर्विकल्पो निरंजनः निर्विकारो निराकारो नित्य मुक्तोस्मि निर्मलः. I am without any specific qualities, that is nirguna. You can also take that I am not Sattva Rajatama, I am beyond these three. Or I am beyond any specific qualities, Nirguna. Nishkriyo, we have seen that activity is by the mind. So I, the real nature of I, has no activity. Nitya. Nitya means two things. Huh? Nitya means eternal, but unchangingly eternal. Otherwise, certain things appear same. For example, Prithvi, Earth. Earth goes on changing, but the same Earth we feel 1,000 years back, 1,000 years forward. That is not the nature of Atma. It never changes, so it is eternal. That is Nitya. Nirvikalpo. Nirvikalpo means one without a second. There is no alternate for Atman. That is called Nirvikalpo. Atman plus what? No. Atman plus something? No. There is nothing other than Atman. That is called Nirvikalpa. Niranjana. So there cannot be any blot or blemish in Atman. Atman being one without a second, there cannot be any blemish or spot or impurity in Atman. Nirvikaro. Atman does not change. Though in the Nitya it had come, but Nirvikar means Atman does not change at all, no modification. There is modification in the mind, in the body, in the object, but never in the Atman. Nirakaro. Body has a shape. When mind has a mental shape, what shape can Atman have? What shape can consciousness have? What shape can existence, consciousness, bliss have? So, Atman has no particular shape. No shape. Nitya Mukto. Then what can bind it? What are the limitations which can bind Atman? Not possible. So it is always free. We have not realized that, so we feel we are bound. When we realize, we will understand that we are never bound. Nitya Mukta. Asmi, I am that. This is what I am. This is what is my real nature. This is what I really am. Nirmala, pure. This is what I am really am. This is meditation. I am not this, I am this. 35. Aham akashavat sarvam bhairantargatochyutah sada sarva samasiddho nisango nirmalo achalaha. In the previous shloka 34, we were declared to be transcendent, sarvatita, beyond all. But there can be sarvatitattva only if we are all, if we are immanent, if we are all pervading. So, to say Brahman is Nirguna alone is wrong. Brahman is always Nirguna Sagun. Brahman is always beyond all and present in all. So that second side, present in all, is being shown in this shloka. And here one example, like Akasha. Here Akasha will mean space. Space is everywhere. Space is in the pot, space is in the house. Space is within this pot, within the walls of this pot, outside. So space is undivided everywhere. Aham akashavat. Had I read it? Yes. Aham akashavat sarvam. Like Akasha, I am all. Bhairantargato chuta. Outside, from inside, I am everywhere. This is an important point. Huh? Sometimes all pervading is felt in the wrong way. Like air filling the balloon. Generally, when we say God is all pervading, We feel there is on and I'm pervading. But if I take away I, will that all remain? So this example of all pervading, like a balloon, air in balloon, is wrong. The correct example is water in the wave. Wave is a form in which the water is there. But that form also is water. If you take away the water, will form remain? And so, Bahir Antargato, if I am inside everything, then outside may be bigger than me. Like container content is becoming. So I am outside also I am, inside also I am. And this difference of outside inside is a fiction. So Bahir Antargato Achyuta, unchanged. Unchanged, not broken, not pieces, not outside something, inside something. So immanence always presupposes transcendence. Transcendence always includes immanence. So I am like Akasha, all outside and inside. I am unchanging. Sada, always that is my real nature. Sarva Sama. And everything is same to me. Everything is same to me. When Sadhu came to Dakshineshwar, appeared like mad, and Sri Ramakrishna told his nephew Hridayaram, he is a perfect man. So Hridayaram chased him. Please tell me something. He won't tell. Then he pressed and pressed. Then he showed the water in the drain and asked Hridaya, when the water in the drain and Ganges are same to you, then only you attain knowledge. So, Sada Sarva Sama. Will it is take us in practical life, whether it is a Chandala, where it is a man, whether it is a learned man, whether he is ignorant, whether he is Indian or American, all are same to me. Siddho. Siddho means perfect. Nisango. I have no attachment to anybody. Nirmalo, pure. Achala, unmoving, unchanging. So this shloka contains both the transcendent and immanent aspect. So these are meditations. Then 36. Nitya Shuddha Vimuktaikam Akhandanandam Advayam Satyam Jnanam Anantam Yat Param Brahmaham Tat. This Satyam Jnanam Anantam is from Taittiriya Upanishad. Nitya Shuddha, this is read in two ways. Huh? Nitya and Shuddha or Nitya Shuddha. I am unchangingly eternal, I am pure. I am eternally pure, both ways. Vimukta, I am free, I am eternally free. Ekam, one without a second. Akhandam, unbroken. Nitya, unbroken. Not that God is all pervading means God is broken into you and me and like that. No, God is unbroken. But he is all pervading. He is inside and outside. He is in the center. So he is not broken. Another idea, wrong idea of all pervading is that he is in you, he is in me. Is he broken like in you and me? He is akhanda. Ananda, bliss is its nature. Advayam, one without a second. Advayam means same thing I will repeat. Not only one without a second, no subject-object split in Atma. That is Advayam. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. These three are wonderful lakshanas in Taittiriya Upanishad. That means all these are being told as qualities of Atman. No, Atman cannot have any qualities. So what are they? This we can little calmly think and understand. There are two types of adjectives. One is called adjectives, the other is lakshana. Directive adjectives. I'll give an example. We are walking somewhere and there is a signboard, Ramakrishna Mission Khetri. So I understand that place is Ramakrishna Mission Khetri. But we meet some signboard, Ramakrishna Mission, and below that an arrow is there. Then that is not Ramakrishna Mission. If we walk in the direction of the arrow, we'll get Ramakrishna Mission. This is called indicatory qualifications, indicatory adjectives. So Atman is Satyam. That means whatever is asatya, reject it. If you go on rejecting that which is not real, that which is not permanent, you will reach Atman. Jnanam, if anything is material, reject it. Go in this direction, then we'll get the conscious Atman. Similarly, not Ananda here, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Now, what is Ananta? That is the most important point. Generally, when we say Ananta, we may feel space, infinite space. Space is not infinite. In Pralaya, there is no space. Now, what happens? There is a danger point here. Because we feel infinite means space, then these questions come, idiotic, but we feel very rational questions. When we see a Brahmajna or an avatar, how the infinite Brahman can come in this man, limited man? Brahman is not infinite by the space, so that it cannot come in the man. Infinity is his consciousness. Brahman is not infinite only in the sense of time. This man has a span of life. How can Brahman come into that? Meaning of infinite is one without a second. Vastuta infinite. If there is anything other than that, that is limiting you. And there is nothing other than Brahman, so it is not limiting you. That is in Taittiriya Upanishad, this is what is taught about Ananta. It includes specially Ananta, time-wise Ananta, but Vastu-wise Ananta means one without a second. If there is anything other than you, you are not Ananta. And so, these are the directions in which you have to look for Atman. So, Satyam Jnanam Anantam is a wonderful direction given by Taittiriya Upanishad, and that is being quoted here. Yat Param Brahma. Such like is that Parabrahma. Para means beyond everything. Para means superior than everything. Para means the highest Brahman. Brahman means all-pervading reality. All-pervading, all-transcending reality, the characteristics, the indicatory characteristics are Nitya Shuddha Vimukta Ekam Akhandanandam Advayam Satyam Jnanam Anantam Yat Param Brahma Aham Evatat. That is what I am. I cannot be anything separate from that. My real nature cannot be anything separate from that. So this is how one has to feel. That is what I am. $37. Evam nirantara bhyasta brahmaiva asmi iti vasana harati avidya vikshepa rogan iva rasayanam. So continuously you have to practice this. Evam, in this way, nirantara abhyasta, nirantara, without a gap, means continuously. You have to practice this. What we have to practice? Brahmaiva aham asmi. Nothing other than Brahman can be I. Vasana. That will create impression. Vasana is not desire, Vasana is impression. And when this impression goes on increasing, Harati Avidya Vikshepa, then our wrong knowledge will vanish and the digressions of life due to wrong knowledge will vanish. Due to wrong knowledge, I am the doer, I am the experiencer, I enjoy, I suffer, I have desires. All these vikshepas are due to wrong knowledge. That wrong knowledge will be lost or it will go away by continuous practice of the right knowledge as described up till now. Example, Rogan iva rasayanam. We have a disease. We take medicine and we repeat that dose till the disease vanishes. We are normally healthy. Man is normally healthy. Some disease has come. So take the medicine. Oh, it has not gone. Take once more. So when we repeatedly take the medicine, the disease vanishes. This is the example given to tell us that what we are doing today is we have a disease. And this disease is called Bhavaroga, the disease of the transmigratory world. We have this disease, chronic disease. So we have to do this repeated practice. That is the medicine. Medicine is the repeated practice of the right knowledge, meditation, and when we do it, it will destroy the wrong knowledge and all the digressions created by wrong knowledge will be destroyed. So this is like a conclusion being reached, but there are some practical sides. So Atmavad is not only theory, it is being now practical side. Vivikta deshe asino virago vijitendriyaha bhavayed ekam atmanam tam anantam ananyadhi. So you have to go to a selected place. Vivikta does not mean only nirjan place. Viveka, from that word has come Vivikta, chosen, selected, holy. And generally, the secluded places are where we can practice undisturbed. So that becomes holy. So whichever place is secluded and holy, that place we have to sit. Without sitting calmly, we cannot meditate. And we should have Vairagya. We should, this lot of things have been taught, Viveka, that should result in this passion. Opposite to attraction, dispassion. So, dispassion has to be there. Vijitendriya, control of the organ should be there. So, this practice is possible only after these qualities have been earned. Only after we have sufficient control on the indriyas by this very practice and we have vairagya, then we go to a secluded holy place and sit upon that and then bhavayed. Bhavayed is generally translated as thought. I don't agree. Bhavayed is a bhavana, feeling. Feeling. It is a function of the heart, not of the brain. Brain may help, but the function of the heart is there. So having understood all this by buddhi, now shift it to the heart. And bhavayed. Another better word is contemplation. The real meaning is have this feeling through contemplation. Ekam Atmanam. Feel for the Atman only. Feel the existence of one without a second Atman only. Then mana. Let the mind become filled with that. No, not. Mana is not there. I only read Tam Anantam Ananyadi. Tam Anantam. That infinite Atman has to be contemplated, felt. Ananyadi. Let not buddhi or mind go elsewhere. Let not mind or buddhi go to other objects. Let you think of the infinite Atman only. Let you think, let you feel, let you contemplate, Let you fill yourself with that one without a second Atman by becoming controlled master of the Indriyas, by having Vairagya, by going to a secluded holy place. When you practice this, as told in the last shloka, continuously, then only Ananyadi, don't let mind go here and there. Think of the infinite Atman, contemplate on the, feel the infinite Atman, only Atman without a second, then you will reach the goal. One more shloka we shall. Atmani eva akilam drishyam pravilapya dhiya sudhi bhavayedekam atmanam nirmal akashavat sada. Again bhavayed, huh? Akilam drishyam pravilapya atmani. That means you are seeing the world. That is called drishya. We must think and feel that it is nothing but Atman. Atman appearing through names and forms. And so the whole scene will merge into Atman. That is contemplation, that is meditation. You feel that the whole world has gone back into Atman, it has dissolved into Atman, pravilapya, that is making it lost in Atman. Dhiya, by your buddhi, by your mind, you have to do this. Sudhi. Sudhi means a person with right knowledge, a person with right thinking, a person with right feeling should, by his mind, feel that all this Drishya world has gone into, melted into, disappeared into Atman, and then that Atman, one without a second, should be felt. Example, Nirmala Akashavat. Akasha without any clouds or anything, let us think Nirmala Akasha. Or Akasha in its real nature is always Nirmal. Like that, think that the Atman is one without a second, absolutely pure, and that we should feel and contemplate, and that will give rise to knowledge, which will dissolve the Ajnana and will realize the goal of life. So, now those four shlokas which are missed, and then we have proceeded and we have reached shloka 39. The total number of shlokas is 68. So there are another 29. Anyway, after the next class, we shall be able to make a judgment when we are finishing it. Today, let us leave it like that. I have already told repeatedly, people asked me, Maharaj, after this, I propose to take Vakya Vritti. Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.